Okay guys, let's get started. So we will start with the royal blue color. And first, as usual, we will make a knot on the end and cut the tail close to the knot. Now place the yarn in front of you like that. And this is the tail, this is working yarn. Place working yarn on the top. Insert your hand inside this loop, grab working yarn and pull it out. This is your first stitch. You can make it bigger or smaller, pulling yarn up and down. We will keep it about 1.5 inches big. Now we will be making 19 stitches. To make stitches, a cast-on chain of stitches, you insert in your hand inside, grab working yarn and pull it out. Insert your hand or fingers inside, grab working yarn, pull it out. See, it's very easy. It's the easiest way to cast on for hand knitting. Make sure that the cast on chain is pretty loose, meaning don't make stitches like that. Make stitches bigger, about 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches. The reason we need to make it this way, because this way the blanket will be of the normal width on the bottom. If you make stitches too small, the blanket will be narrow on the bottom and wider on the sides. Okay, let's count how many stitches we have. Counting is easy. You can count either knots in the middle or these openings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we are starting with 19 stitches, guys. And this is for the width of 30 inches for the blanket, okay? So now when we have this cast on chain ready, we will turn it on another side, flip it on another side like that. And now we will be using these knots in the middle to pull out the first row. So this is our first stitch. We're not using it, it's already a stitch. So see these knots, that's what we'll be using. Lift the knot, insert your fingers or your hand inside, grab working yarn, pull it out. Find another knot, lift it, insert your fingers, grab working yarn, pull it out. Keep doing this way till the end of this row. So the left hand lifting the stitch, right hand you are inserting it in that stitch, grabbing working yarn and pull it through. So we have 19 stitches, and if you watch my videos you might remember that I used to do it with 18 stitches for the width of 30, but because I'm now knitting tighter than before, extra stitch helps to have the width of actually 30, not 29. Okay, so now we have we almost reached the end. We are not knitting this last stitch, and we're not knitting it because we will be adding our cranberry red color. Okay, so how we will be doing it? We will be first of all, we will make a knot on the end and cut the tail close to the knot. Now you have a royal blue and cranberry red. What we'll be doing, we will twist yarn like that. And now this last stitch, we will be using red yarn, cranberry red, not blue. See what we have here? Yeah. So now we are moving to the next row. You can see that yarn is already twisted, royal blue and cranberry red. So what we're doing, we're just going back and we're using red again. red on red. Okay, so we have second row red color. Now we will add one red on the side, on this side. So when we're knitting from the left to the right, we will be adding one stitch of this color in every row. So here we are. We have two reds. Now we are twisting our yarn on the back again, okay? So we're twisting it with the red color, like that. And now we will be knitting our royal blue and all the way to the end of the row. So now when we knitted our second row, we finished it. See, we finished the last stitch. Now we will start the new row. I usually skip the first stitch. It's very easy. You're just keeping it here and you're starting with your second stitch like that. And then we're going all the way to the other side of the blanket. Okay, now we are knitting this last stitch of blue with red color. You see, we're moving it here and we're twisting our royal blue and red color again together, and we are now knitting one red, and then we're knitting these two red that we already have red. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so now we will be again twisting our yarn here when we reach red. So for now we will be knitting these three in red, and again I'm skipping, I'm not knitting the first stitch in every row, so I'm just going to the second one. So red, red, and one more red. Okay, so again our yarn is already twisted, actually not twisted, so we will be twisting it like that. If it's not twisted already on the back, you twist it and then add one more red like that. Now red will go back. We're twisting it with the blue. It's staying on the back, waiting for us to come back and add another red. And now we are knitting the whole row of blue. Now going back again, skipping, not knitting the first stitch, knitting the second. The reason I am skipping the first stitch, it will give you even side on both sides, and it will give you beautiful chain on both sides instead of curly and not even side. You also need to know that if you decide to knit the first stitch, it's also possible, it's okay, you will need a little bit more yarn, because when you're skipping first stitch, you're using a little bit less yarn. Okay, so we reached our red almost, so we need to make this in red, and we're doing it the same way, guys. We're twisting our yarn once, twice, and now we're knitting the red. Now knit all red to the end. start a new row by skipping the first stitch and going to the second one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're knitting 5 red. Now we're adding one more, and for this reason we'll need to twist the yarn. So yarn on the back, twist, twist, and now use the red one. Okay, make sure it's staying on the back. So one more red. You can see already the pattern. So we will have blue, royal blue color, and red implemented here very nicely. So keep doing the same way, guys, twisting yarn and adding red color in every row, remember. And then when you reach the end of this, the right end of the blanket with the red color, then I will come back and I will show you what to do next. Okay guys, we are done here. So you can see that I just knitted the first row of, last stitch in red. And now I will be knitting all row in red color. What we will do with this blue, you will ask? We will cut it, leave about 5, 7, maybe even 10 inches, and then at the end we will weave it in. But for now we will be adding a different color when we are reaching our last stitch here. So you're knitting all red and keep this last stitch not knitted. See, it's the exactly, we're almost done. It's exactly one skein. We're now taking ivory. We're taking our ivory color, and we will be doing the same thing that we did connecting red. We will make a knot on the end, then cut the tail close to the knot. Now twist white and red on the back, and now make one red last stitch like that. And because we change color, this is actually when we will be knitting our stitch, guys. Okay, so we will be knitting the first stitch because we just added the color. Then in other rows you can skip it and then add another stitch of ivory. Okay, so now twist the yarn on the back, ivory with red, and ivory will stay on the back, and we will keep knitting our cranberry red the whole row. I'm out of cranberry, so I will be adding another skein. This is our cranberry color, and the same way as I showed you before, just make a simple knot and then pull it both directions to make sure that the knot is very, very tight, and then cut tails close to the knot. Here's your connection. You don't really see it, and you do not see it, definitely don't see it on the blanket. So now keep doing the same way. We will go all the way to the right with cranberry, and then I will back, and I will add more of the white color. So here we are. We are at the end of the row, and we have one red and two ivory, and doing the same thing as before. We're twisting yarn on the back once, and then second time, and then we're knitting one ivory. Okay, then knit two ivory, that's already ivory, and then next row we can already skip the first stitch, knit the second, this third, and now we need to make one more ivory over red. So we already have yarn crisscrossed on the back, so we're crisscrossing it back, and we are adding one more ivory over here. Now crisscross again, and ivory is going on the back, and we will be working with the red color. Okay, where is it? Here. Twist, and ivory is staying here. We are working with the red color now. So keep doing the same ways, guys, just switching from one color to another on the left side of the blanket, adding one stitch of the different color in every row, and then when I am done with ivory, I'll come back and show you what to do next. Okay guys, so we're done with white color or ivory color going all the way to the right, and I cut cranberry red, and we will weave it in at the end, as the same as the royal blue. So what we will be doing now, we will be knitting the whole row all ivory, and when we are done with ivory with this row, we will switch again to another color, and it will be again royal blue. So we had royal blue, cranberry red, and white, and now we will be going back to royal blue. So here is our last stitch, and we have just a little bit left from the skein. Here is my royal blue, it's back, and we will connect it in the same way we did before. Okay guys, so now we reach the end with our white color, and we will be adding the new color again. It will be royal blue. So we will be doing the same. We will make a knot on the end, cut the tail close to the knot, and now twist the yarn on the back like this, and now make a one stitch of royal blue. Now we will be knitting two stitches of royal blue, because as this is the first stitch, I'm not skipping it. First stitch of new color, we're not skipping it, we're knitting it, and next row we can skip it. So we knitted first, and we're knitting second in royal blue, and now we will be knitting all ivory back. So first of all, we will need to twist yarn on the back, 1 and 2, and blue is going on the back, and we will be knitting with white color, I mean ivory color, sorry. So here we are, and because we're out of ivory, I will need to connect new skein. So this is our ivory chunky chenille yarn. We'll find the end, and we will connect it. So guys, because we have ivory, very light color, and we have cranberry red and royal blue, pretty dark colors, when you wash this blanket, and chunky Chenille can be easily washed in a washing machine, and it can be dried in a dryer, but you need to make sure that when you using colors like that, very light and very dark, make sure to use one of those bleeding fabric catcher, that your colors would stay the way they are. Make sure to use cold water and that color bleeding catcher, or whatever it is, you know what I mean, through it in the washing machine to prevent bleeding of red and royal blue into ivory. Okay, so now going back with ivory all the way. Remember, this color will need to be, the stitch need to become royal blue. So what we're doing on the back, we're twisting yarn and we're knitting the stitch in blue. And now two more in blue color. Now we're going back. We're skipping the stitch now, the first one. We're knitting second, third, and we're twisting yarn, and we're adding one more blue, and then we're going back to ivory. So this is the same pattern we used on other colors below. So keep doing this way until you are done with all of your blue skein, and then I'll come back and I will show you what to do next. Okay guys, so we are almost done moving with the blue color into the white. We have only 2 stitches left, and we could make one more row to go to 1 stitch, but because we have only enough yarn left to finish the blue, we will be casting off. For casting off, you usually you need to have 3 lengths, 1, 2, and 3. We actually have a little bit more, but we will be casting off. So for casting off, guys, knit the first stitch, then have the stitch on your finger, and then add another one and knit them together. So it's a little bit different. I usually was just doing knitting with what we have, like taking 2 stitches, but I found that it's easier to go and have a beautiful end or angle on the blanket. So we will knit 1 stitch, and then we will keep the stitch on the hand, add another one, and then knit them together. So you can see already that we have this beautiful angle here. So now your hand inside the stitch, add another, and then knit them together. And then the next one, and this way all stitches, make sure not to miss any of them, and this way we will cast off our blanket, and you will have this beautiful chain on the top. So now we can cut this yarn. We have just a little piece left, and we will cut the white one. We will finish first. So first we will make a knot on the end, and then cut the tail close to the knot. Now last stitch, and the tail is going inside of it. Then pull it, you're done. Now weave in this underneath this last row. Go underneath every stitch, and then a little bit back, and then anywhere here. Here you go, see? And if you have some extra yarn from cutting, you can remove it. So now this extra pieces of yarn, how to weave it in. So again, make a knot. Make sure to make knots, because this way you prevent unraveling of the yarn when it's used or washed. Cut the tail close and then just weave it in anywhere on the back. Chenille yarn is very fluffy, it's very forgiving. You will not really see it on the back like that, see? Now we have the same situation here with the red. Do the same thing. Make a knot, make it tight, cut the tail, and then weave in the end on the back of the blanket in between of the stitches, the way that it wouldn't be noticeable, like that. And then the same one here with the blue, same thing. You can make it a little bit shorter. It will be easier to weave it in. So make a knot, cut it, and then weave in the yarn. Okay, so we'll do the same with the first row here. This one has a knot already, so we can go underneath and underneath the chain, back, and then just weave it in anywhere. And the same with this red one, it has a knot already, so you can just go underneath any of the stitches to weave it in and to keep it inside the stitches. There you go, like that. So our beautiful blanket is ready, guys. So here we are. It's nice and beautiful. And you can buy this yarn at BeCozi.net. Chunky Chenille yarn. We have Chunky Chenille, we have Jumbo Chenille. This is a Chunky Chenille. We used royal blue, cranberry red, and ivory. Stay warm and be cozy. Hey guys, Larissa with BeCozi.net is here. I would like to introduce you my second book. The second book, Hand Knitting 102, it was published on November 25, 2025, and it's available to purchase on our website BeCozi.net, BeCozi.com. It's also available on Amazon. It's also available on Amazon as a downloadable version if you want, a Kindle, and if you want the real book, it's available again on our website and on Amazon. In this book, I am showing new patterns and a few old patterns. It's as usual. It's very detailed. It's very easy to understand what I'm doing. Very unique patterns where you can those that you cannot find anywhere else. And again, this book is available. Go get it, and this is the best gift for yourself or your loved one.